YouTube, B3 are back, another kicking action figure review. Today's review is over another DC Comics Multiverse figure for Mattel. It is the Batman The Dark Knight Returns Robin figure. Yes, this is Carrie Kelley Robin. Cool character. The Dark Knight Returns is one of my favorite comic stories of all time. Absolutely adore it. It's very, very cool. You should definitely give it a read if you haven't. There's also a two-part movie. And yeah, this is Carrie Kelley, the Robin from that, as I previously mentioned. And part of the second wave of DC Comics Multiverse. This wave had Carrie Kelley Robin, Armored Dark Knight Returns Batman, Prison Batman vs. Superman Lex Luthor, Television's Supergirl, Dark Knight Returns Mutant Leader, and Superman Doomed, and you put them all together to build New 52 Doomsday. This is my last piece for New 52 Doomsday. I'll zoom out and show you the right leg for Doomsday. Pretty cool. So now I have completed Doomsday. I have to fix one of his arms before I can do the review for him. But yeah, Doomsday's leg. Ace. Pretty ace, wouldn't you say this is ace? It's ace! Yeah, I'm very glad to finally have a Doomsday figure, honestly. And she does have one accessory, her slingshot, which is her weapon of choice. It's stuck in this pose, just plastic. She does hold it. Goes right in this hand. Actually never tried to put it in her hand, so this is my first go at it. She's got some pretty big hands. Yeah, there you go. She just kind of holds the end. It doesn't go all the way down. There's no way for it to go all the way through. So I guess this is kind of whatever. That doesn't look really good at all. I mean, she holds it fine, I guess, but there's no way you can get a good action pose out of this or anything. I mean, the best you could do is just for holding it at her side. But it seems like it's probably better displayed here on the waist. You can stick it in this belt loop, apparently. Or not. There we go. Yeah, so you can do that. That's still pretty awful. I mean, they tried, but I mean, your waist is a little too big for it to go down that way. Perhaps you can go up, but I also don't think that's going to work out. No, that's not much, is it? Yeah, so basically just forget the slingshot. She doesn't look good with the slingshot. Speaking of looking good, we're going to check out detail and paint now. I would have preferred to see her eyes, but if they painted the eyes on there, it would have looked goofy, to be completely honest. And you know they weren't going to give us clear glasses or anything, of course. It's Mattel. The head sculpt, other than that, looks fine. You know, the head sculpt's pretty original. You get the nice big hair. It looks like she's all new parts, so that's saying something. That's really saying something. Her hands are pretty big for a little girl. But then again, this is based on Frank Miller artwork. So, you know, Frank Miller, how he draws and etc. But yeah, you know, the Robin costume looks good. The feet, she's got a little Peter Pan feet. I like this cape a lot, actually. I think it's a good cape for her. So yeah, I mean, she doesn't look bad just on display. I mean, she looks pretty normal. And then you got articulation, side to side on the head, not really much up and down at all. And then you have up and down on the arms, forward and back, that's all pretty good. You do have a bend in the elbow here, but it does seem to kind of force out the plastic. I wouldn't leave her arm bent. And then you have a rotation on the bicep as well. And wrist rotation there. Pretty decent. Nothing on the torso, which is odd, I think, but whatever. And then you have a waist swivel, in and out on the legs, barely hindered at all, so that's good. Forward and back, you have a thigh swivel, a knee bend, and up and down on the foot. My feet are kind of stiff, but yeah, whatever. She stands well as she is, so I don't really care. But yeah, so that's that with articulation. Now about some size comparisons. First up for size comparisons, here's Carrie Kelley with the DC Universe Classics Toys R Us exclusive Supergirl from the 2-pack on the left. And here on the right, the Mutant Leader from The Dark Knight Returns and her wave. And keeping with the Mattel figures, here are some movie and television figures. Here on the left, the Movie Masters Feora from Man of Steel, and here on the right, Reverse Flash from the CW Flash television show. Now we're going to move right on into some DC collectibles. Here we have some figures from the DC Icons line. Here on the left, the Forever Evil Lex Luthor, and on the right we have The Flash. And lastly, here's Carrie Kelley with the larger scale DC collectibles figures. Here on the left, a video game figure, the GameStop exclusive Battle Damaged Arkham Knight Batman. And here on the right, from the 2-pack Season 1 Arrow from the Arrow television show, of course. And yeah, that's how she scales with those fools. So what are my final thoughts on the DC Comics Multiverse Wave 2 Carrie Kelley Robin from The Dark Knight Returns and Mattel? Well, she's pretty cool. The new 52 Doomsday wave is pretty good. I like how they're doing modern figures, but also you got the whole 30th anniversary to Dark Knight Returns, so they're giving us lots of Dark Knight Returns stuff, which I like. I'm not going to get the Dark Knight Strikes Back stuff when it comes out, because I did not like that graphic novel. But I will keep getting these. I'm going to get the Joker when he comes out. Will I get Son of Batman? Who knows? I see him all the time. I just... But, yeah. She's a pretty cool figure. I'm glad to have her in my collection. I don't think she looks good with her slingshot there. I mean, this is like the coolest pose I can get her in with it. I just don't really care for it. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all later.